of you have one of these? Or several? And seriously, if you forgot one at home, I have backups for you because I don't want anybody to go through serious withdrawal or panic attacks. But real honestly, how many of you spend more time interacting with this device than you do with your loved ones, your partners, your children? Be honest with your children. And, some of you are cheaters. You're cheaters. I've seen you in restaurants when you pretend to be present at a hot date, remember? And under the table, you're scrolling. Have you seen people like that? And you know what's really sad? Don't do this, because with our children, so many parents, and especially after they're under the age of 5, are giving this to their kids as a convenient babysitter, and you're doing brain damage. Don't do it. But it looks innocent, doesn't it? And the fact is that, in fact, one of my books is on bullying. With cyberbullying, this cute little device turns into a weapon, and it can be lethal. But over most of Americans are actually addicted to this. It's called digital dopamine addiction. And no addiction's good because it steals our freedom. But I'm not here to bash AI or technology. I mean, I have tomatoes thrown at me. But, I think I'm really here more to reclaim the brain so that technology serves us and doesn't enslave us. Does that make sense? Yeah, and Stephen Hawking, you probably have all heard of him, the scientist. He said, AI may be the best thing that ever happened to us. It might be the worst thing. And it could be the last thing if we're not careful. So can we collectively agree that we're going to make it the next thing? You like that? Yeah. And I'm going to give an example of where the commingling of the creative mind and technology work together. It's July 27th. Is that right, Grace? 2022. And my granddaughter, who happens to be here, have you ever been to Jackson Hole, Wyoming? It's God's country, isn't it? And she's cruising along in her side-by-side. It's like a souped-up, what is it called? Kind of looks like a golf cart. She's going down the road, and, the sun's shining, the mountains yonder, eagles overhead. And she said it was the best day of her life. Freeze that. Back in Davidson, North Carolina, her parents are startled in the middle of the night with that hollow knock on the door. How many of you have gotten the phone call, the door, that you don't want to answer, especially when half the Davidson Police Department's out there? And they announce that wonderful day ended suddenly in tragedy as her unconscious body lay in the ditch. Fortunately found by a park ranger who had her airlifted to the University of Utah Trauma Center. The doctor comes out, and the diagnosis is internal decapitation. Sound ugly? It is. And listen to this. In research, most of the people never made it, but she's alive. And those who made it were paralyzed. So it's a little bit of a scary story, but I'm back home, and so I go on, what is it called, social media, and I ask for prayers. And this is an example of good use of technology. It went viral. There were people in every state of the union praying for girl Grace. They had never met her. And I remember my pastor praying that the hand of God would guide the surgeon's hand. And get this, in the middle of surgery, he stops. As he's about to fuse her neck to prevent paralysis, he stops. And you know what he does? He has a Zoom call. Are you kidding me? It's this use or abuse. And he brings on the best surgeons in the country from NYU, from Stanford. And here's the creative powers of mind. They come up with a plan B. And it worked. He comes out after the surgery and says, "It's a miracle." Now I'm going to start crying. And it's a miracle. And that's not a medical term. That's not a medical term. Now, let's look at the other side of this. Ever since screen time has increased, there's a direct correlation between the increase in screen time and our intelligence going downhill. between 1975 and the year 2000, do you know that our intelligence went down 13.7 points? That's a lot. And if we do that one more time, we will be borderline intelligence. And I will tell you right now, there is not a democracy in this world that can be supported by stupidity. But maybe what we have to do is put a little more energy into improving natural stupidity rather than artificial intelligence. So the other thing that concerns me is that there has been a decrease in EQ. That's emotional intelligence, it's relationships, emotions. And I guess my concern is, if common sense were so common, why wouldn't we see more of it? Have you noticed that? I mean, have you hired someone lately? It's pretty scary. And then we have Mr. Clueless. Now, maybe if he works smarter rather than harder, he's going to figure out how to open that dang door. And then we have Carl's glass bottom bus. But no customers. It worked well for boats, didn't it? And so when we're looking at this, I do corporate training, and this is backed by research. About 10 to 20% of the workforce is actually competent, and that's before the silent quitters. Just up the road, a company, 1 out of 3 passed the drug test. So we're already eliminating almost 70% of the workforce that we might have. And this is scary to me. 28% of human error is due to direct distractions on this little cute device. And I'm telling you, if I'm ready to take off at Charlotte Douglas, I don't want my mechanic distracted if it's going to increase the error rate of 28%. So I take it a little bit seriously. But there's one other thing. I have a healthcare background. And with screen time, mental health issues have increased. Anxiety is up. You know that. Depression is up. Suicide is up. Fentanyl overdoses is up. Obesity is up. Mass shootings are up. I mean, listen to the news. And now the number one cause of death in our kids, our little kids and our teens, is, you know what it is? It's guns. Is this? I mean, yeah, I grew up in a different world. And so I think, the bottom line is people aren't happy. We're doing something wrong. And we